Hi y'all, this is Ginger with Ginger Snap Thrifting. Welcome to my channel. Well, I am super excited today to show y'all this first handmade gift that you can make for the upcoming holiday season or just for somebody's birthday or whatever. Maybe just because. Maybe a little gift for yourself. But today we're going to make these cute little keychains. Aren't they sweet? And you can personalize these any way you'd like. So, before we get started, if you haven't already subscribed and you enjoy this type of video, I'd invite you to do that. Or if you want to wait until the end of the video and make sure you like what you see, I'd invite you to do that then. But let's get started with our fun little Christmas DIY. To make this gift, you will need a wooden block from a Jenga or similar tumbling tower game, and this should be the full size, not the mini size that you get at Dollar Tree. Mod Podge or a similar type paper adhesive, paint brushes, decorative cardstock or other decorative paper, a split key ring, a screw eye, scissors or another implement to cut flat paper, paint, optional but useful if you want the end of your block to match your paper, a drill and a small bit, optional but very useful. Well, all right, I've got all my equipment and supplies laid out here. First off, we have this card stack of Paper Studio Floral Farmhouse papers. These are 6 by 6 inches. There's 60 sheets in it. It retails for $6.99, but I got this at Hobby Lobby, so it was 40% off. So it was about $4 for this. We will have lots left over. You can see I have lots left over, and I have gone through and have taken a piece of one of each of the different designs. There's 20 different designs. Then I have my Jenga blocks or my tumbling tower blocks. I thrifted these Jenga blocks at a thrift store for $2 for the package. And the tumbling towers I bought at Five Below for $5 for the box. They're the same size. These Jengas are in different colors. These tower tumbles are just wood. It doesn't matter which you use. It really doesn't. You can use either one. I've divided my paper out. So I've just cut these in half. These are 3 inches by 6 inches long. These, I've chosen white to be the coordinating color. For this set, I've chosen black to be the coordinating color. And for this set, I've chosen green to be the coordinating color. So right now I've got 15 pieces that I'm going to work on. Other supplies you need some eye hooks. These little eye screws, can you see? You can get these at any craft store, at a hardware store. You get them in a package, a little plastic package, and I think the price I saw on some that were smaller than this was $2.49. And then you need some split key rings. This is the key ring. Split key ring. It was 99 cents at Hobby Lobby and there were 10 in it. And you need your paint. I've got this pretty matte acrylic paint called Lush Meadow. You see it was on clearance for 29 cents, but these are usually a couple of dollars a bottle. I've got this apple barrel paint in Snow White. Probably got this at Walmart, again for a couple of dollars. And I've got another apple barrel in gloss black. It doesn't matter if you have gloss, matte, it just doesn't matter. So, oh, you also need a zip sander is best, or a piece of sandpaper. I like these because you're not holding the sandpaper with your fingers. And this is just nice to clean up any rough edges. And then 3 small paint brushes. 3 small paint brushes. So, I've separated my blocks into colors so I can keep up with how many I'm painting of which color. I'm just going to move my papers out of the way. Don't want any paint on them. Put these over here in my little container. And the first thing we're going to do is paint these. Well, I think I'll paint my dark blue with my black paint. Now, you're not painting the whole block. You are just painting the ends. Just about like that. Now, normally I would pour this paint out on a little paper plate or in a little paper cup, but I'm not doing a whole lot of painting. It's going to go real fast. So you don't have to worry about having a straight line. You just need to have coverage. And make sure you paint the little end too, because you don't want that blue showing through. And I need some little thing to lay this on to kind of prop it up. Let me see what I've got. How about just a little paper cup? Put it right there on its edge. Put it right like that. Blocks are painted and dry, and now we're going to put the paper back on them. At this point, you want to decide, do you want your keychain to look like this, where the paper comes right to the edge, or do you want it to look like this, where you have a little bit of a gap? If you want it to look like this, you need to cut a 1/2 inch off the long side of your paper. And you can do that easily with one of these handy dandy little paper cutters, little razor cutters like this, or you can just mark it with a pencil and cut it with your scissors. I've decided that I want my paper to come all the way up like this, just for to make it faster. But I may change my mind part way. This actually was not made with the cardstock. This was a piece of a greeting card. And it's got a poem on it that says, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. So it's not really a poem, it's a little saying from a gift card. But anyway, just know that you can also use things besides the cardstock. Okay, now we need to cut these down some more. So I'm going to lay my little block there, and I want to wrap it up and around. I want it to be just about halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway there, okay? And I'm going to kind of crease it with my fingers. I'm going to take my block out, and I'm going to put a hard crease in it. Now notice that I didn't wrap it all the way around. I wrapped it just part way around. Now I'm going to put that on. I'm going to put that crease in there real tight. You see how I've got a nice tight line there? And I'm going to crease this next one. If you try to do it all the way around, sometimes what will happen is that it will slip and it'll be too loose. When you're folding these, make sure you're lining up your edges. If you don't line up your edges, when you do your wrap, it will be skewed diagonally. Okay, now I've got that pulled in. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to kind of give it a little tug, make sure I'm good there, and I'm going to pull this side up. Give it a mark with my thumb and finger, and then take it off and get me a hard crease there. Hard crease. Now I'm going to roll this back in. And now the last crease is this one right here. So this brings it back over the top. Now I'm putting it in here, I'm rolling it around there, I'm looking at it. Looks pretty straight. It doesn't look like it's really off much. Now we have to cut this off. A little pencil here. And it's best if you can get the little edges just a touch or to just overlap a smidge. I'm gonna make this one overlap just a smidge. So I don't know if you can see, right there's my edge, and I'm gonna mark it just here, just where it overlaps a smidge. Now I'm gonna use my handy dandy little cutter here. Get this out of the way. Put my little paper up here. Line it up. And I'm going to cut it. There. And then you have this nice little square piece left. You can use this for some of your other paper crafts, make a little hang tag, gift tag out of it, whatever you wish. Lay that to the side. All right, next, we're going to Mod Podge this on. And I am using Aleene's Collage Podge instead of Mod Podge. I don't have anything against Mod Podge, but well, I'm just knocking everything over. But the thing is, regular Mod Podge, if you read the instructions on the back of the bottle, let me just get one for you. Oh, sorry. It says cure time 4 weeks. Now I've got several different varieties of Mod Podge, and they all say the same thing, cure time 4 weeks. This is called instant decoupage, and your dry time is a max of 72 hours, which is a lot shorter than 4 weeks. I don't know about you, but I don't have 4 weeks to wait, and I don't have space to have these things sitting around curing. Now, if you have the space, if you love Mod Podge, if you find that it doesn't take that long, that's fine. But this is what I'm going to use. And I've never used this product before. Put a little bit out in my cup. Now, I like to apply my glue to my paper because this is a really thick paper. Apply it to my paper. Good coverage there. And I'm going to apply it to my block. Just on there. There. On my paper and on my block. Roll it around. So what this is doing is it's causing the paint on my blocks to fade a little bit. Can you see? I've got a little bit of blue there. We'll see how it looks dried. It might be all right. But there's one. I'll tell you, I like the way it sticks. It sticks real well. Let's try another one. So we'll lay it on there. And I'm going to seal it. I'm going to crease it. Try and get it. So if you're wondering about the music I've got in the background, I've got some classical Christmas music. I've got Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker, and I've got the Hallelujah Chorus, Handel's Messiah, which I just love. I don't listen to a lot of classical music, but I do like the classical Christmas musics. Okay, now, if you can see, I got a little off right there. Can you see right there? But because this is a little long, we're going to have to take that off anyway. So I think it'll be okay. All right. Take this over to the cutter and cut it. Nice little square piece. Oh, there it is. All right, let's try this again. Maybe, tell you what, I'm going to get a different brush and see if I can just paint it on the paper, if that'll work. Let me see. Since the glue is making my paint run, I really don't want to mess these up. So I'm just going to put this on down pretty generously. It's sticking pretty good. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever used Aleene's tacky glue, but it's a really good product. And so I think I'm really going to like this Aleene's decoupage. Okay. There we go. All right. I'm going to finish up wrapping these, and then I'll be back with you. Well, all right, the next step is to clean up the little edges. Unless you cut back your paper like this and left the little ends exposed, if you did this, then this step is not for you. But if you wrapped your paper all the way to the ends, you can have a little bit of overhang. Can you see that little bit of overhang there? So that's where your little zip sander or finger sander comes in. Now you can use regular sandpaper with this, but one of these little things or a sanding block or a sanding sponge just makes it easier because it's a firm surface. You want to sand the corner diagonally, down and pick up, down and pick up. You're not going to saw back and forth. If you saw back and forth, you'll lift the paper up. So you just want to saw it back and forth, not back and forth. Saw it down in one direction, sand, turn and sand, turn and sand. Even if it doesn't look like you've got an overhang, you still need to hit these little edges because there will be a little bit of an overhang and you won't be able to see it and you'll start to peel up on you. Now, just keep working at it until you get that little overhang off. You'll see a little, see that little piece of paper folded up there? You'll see that, and just keep gently sanding it until it all comes off. Now this will make kind of some dust wherever you're working, so you know you don't want to do this at the dinner table or something. All right, you get one end done, you go the other end. You just want to keep going around it. Be careful, be sure you're actually picking up and not sawing back and forth on the edge. And make sure you're on the diagonal corner, like that, see? And then just kind of feel it. Make sure you don't have anything hanging, and you have it, it looks kind of like that. It looks a little bit worn at the edges, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of these, and then I'll be back for our next step. Okay, our next step is to put another coat of the Mod Podge, or in this case, the Collage Podge by Aline, over this, and I'm going to coat one end and all sides, and I'm going to stand it up on its end then to dry. So you're just going to paint it on there. You're going to pay special attention to the little edges. You really want your little edges sealed in good. And your overlap. You see your little overlap right there? You want to pay special attention to where those edges overlap. And it really might be easier to paint all the sides, because that way you can hold the ends and then set it on one end and paint the other end. But you do what works best for you. And you just want to make sure you get a real good coat. You don't want it to be so thick that it's drippy, but you want it to be thick enough that it's sealed. And so I'm going to do that now. Set my little block down. I'm going to go to the next one. Well, I've got all those blocks coated with one layer of the decoupage medium. You can see them, they're all standing on their ends. I'm gonna let them dry. I'll probably let them dry overnight because it's getting a little late and I have some other things to attend to. But tomorrow I'll flip them over and do the other end, and then we'll probably put one more coat on them. So I'll see y'all when we're ready to go to the next step. Okay, I've completed 2 full layers of the Collage Podge on the outside of these. They've dried overnight. They're not tacky, they're not sticky. And now I'm going to finish them up. I've got my trusty little drill here. This is my small little drill. It fits my hand. Whatever drill you have is fine. I'm going to drill into the center, straight down into the center of the block. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my screw eye. My screw eye. They make much smaller screw eyes, but because of the rings and the bulk of the rings, I want the bigger screw eyes. Now I'm going to start it. I'm just going to start screwing it into the hole. When you drill these holes, you don't want a hole that's bigger than your screw. You want you just still have to be putting some pressure on to drill this in. And I've got it started. Now I'm going to just hold it with my pliers. I'm going to start, maybe I'm going to start screwing it in. Start screwing it in. Using a tool like this can really save your wrist, your fingers. And you want that screw eye to be parallel. You want the loop to be parallel with the long edge. Okay, I'm going to finish these up and then I'll be right back. All right, the last step is to put the key rings on these hooks. So an easy way to do this is to use a flat tool. This will save your thumbnail if you're just doing one, but I'm doing several. So I've just slipped this tool in here. This is a Cricut spatula, but a butter knife would do well. And now I'm going to hold that, just pry it out and slip that hook on there. Then I can take my tool out, slide it on around, just like that. All right, well, here are the finished products. Here are 10 handmade key rings to give as gifts or to keep for yourself. Well, okay, y'all, we have finished up these little key rings. But before I sign off here, I want to talk to you about how you can personalize these. You can make your own paper. You can print off paper with a certain design or certain wording on a laser jet or an inkjet printer. If you use an inkjet printer, you need to coat the paper, the print paper, side paper, with Rust-Oleum 2X clear spray to seal it, because otherwise the ink can run when you use the Mod Podge product on it. You could take little rubber stamps and stamp somebody's name, or if you have really great handwriting, you could take a Sharpie and you could write on it. Maybe you have a special little thing you say to your loved one, like "love you to the moon" or "love you more," or maybe it's a line from a poem or a song or even a Bible verse that's meaningful to you. You could put on this. You don't have to use cardstock. You could go get the decorative papers that you can buy in places like Hobby Lobby. You can use wrapping paper, tissue paper, all means of things. Just make sure that you've put a final coat to seal everything after you finish your personalization. Well, y'all, I hope you enjoyed making these little keychains. I really have enjoyed showing you how to do these, and I cannot wait to show our next handmade gift item that I'll start working on right after I finish this video. As let me tell you, it takes a time to put these videos together. Until we meet again, I wish God's blessings upon you and your loved ones. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd invite you to do so and ring the bell so you don't miss any of these videos. We do a lot of different kinds of videos here. We do thrift hauls, we do craft DIYs, we do upcycles, recycles, reimagines, you name it. Well, again, thank you so much for watching Ginger Snap Thrifting. This is Ginger, and I will see you later.